So I created my own cards.
Oh, wow, those look great, man.
So my program is called the alignment, and the alignment is about aligning mind, body, and spirit. Not only your logical side, but your energy side. So it's seven. The way that what I studied and the way that I put it together, there's seven levels to our personality that we need to work with and align, and there are seven chakras that we need to align. So many of you who watch Zodiacs or watch the Card Devo probably got to see my prototype deck, which because I couldn't find what I wanted out there. I made my own deck. I just bought some cards on Amazon and some tape, and I just did my own little.
Oh,
Yeah, I created my own deck. I was like this, and it it took me 6 years to get to where I wanted. And then finally, a week ago, I received my first deck. So it's finally printed out.
dude, those look amazing.
And so it's the alignment. And then, but again, because it's me, um, you have this is the first level, which is your foundation or your root chakra. And here, this is the card that says patience,
Yep.
but it's also in Spanish.
Oh, I love that.
So not only can you do your alignment, but you can learn another language while you're doing it. So I'm teaching you 70 different words in English and Spanish, basically.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and it's I think the reason that I'm connecting with you so much right now is because this does what you're doing. Is like, hey, let me walk you through the process. There's going to be some barriers or some blockages, but I'm going to walk with you. You need to break it down yourself, but I will walk you through it. I
Hmm.
will stand there and watch you do it. And sometimes folks are a little resistant. I've had a couple of graduates, and there were a couple of points in the middle of this. It's an 8 session program. People can do one session, but most people do the 8 sessions. Somewhere in 3 or 4, they're like, "Oh, this is too much. Like I'm learning too much about me." And I'm like, "That's the point. That's the point."
Oh,
And then they get to the end, and we've aligned their energy. And hopefully, folks that uh, do my trainings, get the cards, they can then do them for themselves. And now I'm working on the book to train people to be the alignment coaches. I want I want people. I want this to be a movement, and like this is my franchise. This is
I
my thing.
love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
So then, like, so if someone's interested in this, right? This is me trying to take over your show again.
I
Um,
could see that. Yeah.
how do you, how do they get started? Like, do they buy your cards online or do they sign up with you first? Like, how does this work?
So sorry, that's my pills. It's time for my pills. Um, so for right now, my okay, long story short, I even before I even had the car. Okay, talk about jumping in without a parachute, like totally. I hope they don't see this, but they don't. But I submitted an abstract to a conference in May in New Orleans. For everybody out there, it's the National Latinx Conference on HIV, HPV, and Hep C. Very specific, and I pitched it as a burnout prevention workshop because I don't know if anybody knew this, and maybe this will help you in your job, in your career. But burnout is normally caused by us bumping into the same walls over and over. We get burned out because we're fighting the same thing on a daily basis. I don't like my job. I don't like my boss. I don't like where my career is going. Hitting that day in, day out is what causes the burnout. So we need to break down that barrier. Why don't you like your boss? Why don't you like your
Mhm.
job? And why do you keep doing it, basically? So I'm going to go in May and teach this workshop um, to case managers, social workers, doctors, nurses, advocates on how to identify burnout in their lives so that they then can teach patients and clients to identify their own burnout. Okay, so that's going to be the actual launch in May. But right now, if you are interested, if you tried life coaching and it wasn't for you, and you keep going to card readers, energy workers, and it's not getting you the results you want, then I'm right there in the middle. I'm a spiritual life coach. So I bring you both logic and spirituality into one. And you can sign up and do one workshop, which is the full alignment, or sign up for and buy the 8 session program, and then we meet up. We're especially like a regular life coaching session, or we meet up every 2 weeks. But the cards play a big part. So you say, "Let's. How do we do this?" Okay,
And,
so
then- and when you meet up, right? Is it like over Zoom and stuff like
yeah,
that? So you can do everyone.
everything's over Zoom. We
How much
record the
is the course?
session.
How much
Pardon?
is it? How much is the course?
So for one session is 175. If you buy the full 8 session package, it's $1,200 for the whole package.
Okay.
And we can do that. We can arrange that right now, payments or whole or whatever. But if you buy the whole 8 week session, you get a deck of cards for yourself. So that's the benefit between buying one session, right? But I'll give you a quick just jump. We're going to do your root chakra or your foundation. So the cards are
So
there's 7
root chakra is my foundation. That's what you're
yes,
saying?
so
That's
it's
what
the
it is?
foundation.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
So, and you get a little sample card that tells you
Okay.
where everything breaks up. So, the way the cards are broken down, it's 70 cards divided in 7 sections. Each section has 10 cards to it, and each card has a word on it that is identified with that level or that chakra. And the way we work with the clients is always recorded. Everything's on camera, so people know that I'm not pre-selecting cards for you. So I would say, Dan, can you tell me a number from 1 to 9?
7.
7. All right. So we shuffle the cards a little bit, and of course, because Dan can't pull them, I will pull them for him. So I would say that right now, interesting enough.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's funny because we're talking about this right now. So interesting enough, your foundation right now, or root chakra, or the thing that we need to pay attention to right now, is career choices, which is
What?
really interesting. So I would say to you that
How do
right
we say it
now,
in Spanish? How do we say it in Spanish?
carrera.
Okay.
So
Carrera.
la base o la raíz es la carrera. So I would say that right now, some of focus on some of the career changes that are happening in your life. And no, for those of you folks listening, I don't think he's leaving his job. I'm
No.
just saying that there are some opportunities that are coming up career wise that are going to affect your outcome. And that we're a little, because it's coming out as your foundation and it's coming out as the barrier, I would say that some of the opportunities that are coming up for you, we're a little hesitant into if we want to choose that. So the annex, let's call it the annex. Feel like this is your career and you're building the annex. Do I want to go in that direction? And then, of course, you don't stop there. You have to go and pull out. This is your balance or your sacral chakra. Then we would say, oh, the reason that I'm concerned about this annex is it going to balance out the joy that I have in my life? So is the career, this new career path that I want to go on, or this new dirt road that I want to pave, is it going to bring me the joy in the career that I want? Is it going to allow me to still find the joy, or is it going to be more of a headache? And if it's going to be more headache, then why do it, right? And so then number 3 would be your sacral chakra. I'm sorry, your solar plex, which is right here. This is your power point. For everybody out there, our power lies in our belly. And you're like, how is that possible? It's because think about when you're on a roller coaster. Where do you feel the energy? Right here
Oh,
in your belly.
yeah.
when you have to make big decisions in your life, when you meet the person that you love or the person you don't like, you feel it in your belly. It's your intuition. It's your guide. It's what tells you if something is good or not. So I guess you are getting a card reading after all, aren't you? Man, see how bossy he is, people? He just gets what he wants. He thinks he can just come on my show and be all like, oh, look at me, I'm fabulous. Number 3, the reason that probably there's a little hesitation of if it's going to affect your joy or not is because your power is telling you, am I really committed to this new thing? Do I really want to do it? Or like we were talking earlier, is it resume? Is my resume telling me that I should do it? And now it's more of an ego thing.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, these are all like right on, spot on.
Right. So number 4, this is basically what we do in my sessions. Number 4, this is your intake or your heart chakra. All the information for everybody out there watching, all your information that comes from the world comes into our heart first. And then from our heart, we decide where it goes. If it's going to be our root, if it's going to go up to affect our dreams and goals. But our intake, we know when people tell you, I was like, oh, Dan, you're taking that to heart. Well, yeah, because everything comes here first. So in your heart are you really listening?
Oh,
Like,
this is
are you listening
amazing.
to the information that is coming to you from the world or from other people, from yourself? Like, is your heart telling you, Dan, are you listening to this? Are you really ready to commit, affect your joy, and go in this career path that you're looking at? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are we good so far?
Yes, this is incredible. You're right on point, dude. Like, this is wild.
This is why they come to me. Hello, sir. Okay, so number 5 is
Yeah.
your throat chakra. Your throat chakra. And by the way, for everybody who's watching this live or on replay, thank you for sticking around. We're going over time today. Number 5 is your voice chakra, or it's your voice or your throat. And this is really more about, are you speaking your truth to you? Are you being honest with yourself? Because you know this. And you said this kind of about people that come to you. If you're not being honest with yourself, are you really ready for this? You're not going to be ready for what I have to say to you because you're not being honest with me. So is this about healing? Are the things that you're telling yourself, are they really about healing you, or are you just saying the words because they sound good, or it's like, okay, that's what I should be doing, or that's what a
Right.
man would say, like I'm tough. So are you healing with your voice? And this is a lot about linguistics. You know about linguistics. Um, for those of you out there, linguistics is the way we say things, or the reason we say things, and what their purpose is. And sometimes we're so hard on ourselves. So are you healing from the words that you say to yourself? Are you listening? Are you really committed to make these changes? Is it going to bring you the joy that you want in the career path that you're looking at? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Are we good so far?
Oh my God, this is amazing. I
All
love
right.
it. Thank you so much. I love this.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Number 6 is, people know this as the third eye, but it's the brow chakra, and this is your vision. This is your dreams, your goals, your manifestation, what you want in life, and it's about your inner light. Is it really turning on your inner light, or is it dimming it? Because sometimes we think that we need to pursue the dreams that we had when we were 20. I'm 52 now. And those 20-year-old dreams, it's like jeans from high school. They probably are not going to fit, but we can adjust them. We can change them. We can return them and get a new pair. So is your vision turning on that light inside of you to help you heal? Listen to what the world is telling you so that you can commit to your joy and make the career changes that you want. Does that make sense? Are we good?
Oh man.
All right. And we're going to put all this together in just a second. So number 7,
Because there's 7 chakras, right?
7 chakras and 7 levels.
Okay.
So the 7th level is your connection to the world, to God, to the universe, to life, to you. It's different than your power in that this is the connection. This is your crown chakra. This is where you realize that you are the most divine version of yourself. You are perfect in your imperfection. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like whatever your reality is right now, that's the most perfect version of you right now. And if you can't accept that, then everything else is just not going to fall into place. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
All right. Number 7 is mental health. So, am I aware of where my mental health is right now? Is this causing me stress? Um, you talked about PTSD. I have health related PTSD. Um, am I being really honest about where my mind is right now, where my mental health is right now? So the way that this would get put together at the end. So basically, I'm giving you an alignment, a mini alignment without all the writing down and because this would be an hour. And because Dan is so controlling, he's making me do this in 10 minutes.
I thought it's because we were
So,
friends. Sorry.
you know, these military men, they're so demanding. Um, so what this tells me, and I'm going to put it to you both ways, um, is the career choices that I'm making bringing me joy? Committing, am I really committing to myself by listening to what the world's telling me, using words to heal me so that I can turn on my inner light and have the mental health that I'm looking for? Or the reverse of that is my mental health affecting my inner light, which is affecting my healing because I'm not listening to the messages, committing to myself so I can find the joy in my career path?
That's amazing.
Does that make sense?
Dude, I mean, like everything that you hit on, man, I'm on it. Like everything that you hit on is stuff that's like, yes, it's real, it's happening.
So if you came to me, you said, "Hey, I want to sign up for your alignment workshop. It's an hour and a half. We get on Zoom, we record it. You take notes, I take notes. You get mailed everything, but emailed everything. But we walk through this, but we pause on each one and go, okay, is that making sense? Why? How? Like, what are you?" And then there's homework. There's always homework. I always give homework. Even if you come for one session, I will follow up with you in 2 weeks and make sure that you did your homework.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's like you. If you're not going to make the calls, if you're not going to do the work, then what's the point? So with me, if you're not going to do the homework, then you basically paid me just
Right,
to give you medication, and you're not going to take it, basically.
right,
So,
right.
and then when folks sign up for the 8 sessions, we'll come back and do each chakra at a time. And then in those, we pull out 4 more cards plus the career. So you get 4 more cards for that level. And we break those down. It's like, why? So it's a lot of logic and digging, but there's a lot of like letting the cards tell you what's going on. So you have to trust the universe to guide you. So I've had a couple of skeptics who were like,